It's the last match day in Asian Champions League Group J, Eastern Zone, and we're in the Vietnamese capital tonight to see if the defending champions Urawa Reds can file a stay of execution in this year's competition. The Japanese side have to beat Hanoi here and hope a series of other results go their way next week, when the last fixtures in the rest of the Eastern Zone groups are played, in order to go through. Otherwise, the team who lifted the AFC Champions League trophy just 6 months ago will suffer a truly ignominious group stage exit. Hanoi, last year's V League runners-up, are eliminated already, having lost 4 of their 5 played so far. They're playing for pride as a first ever season in the group stage of the AFC Champions League draws to a close tonight. It also means that Vietnam will still never have had a team in the knockout stages of Asia's top club competition. But a chance to go out with a bang. Certainly their fans have provided plenty of colour and atmosphere. They've enjoyed the ride. It's been bumpy at times, but a chance here for a smooth landing against a team undoubtedly in transition in Urawa Reds. Quite spectacular, really, to contrast the scenes tonight. The likely exit, let's be perfectly honest about this, with those scenes of jubilation after the two-legged triumph over Al Hilal back in May that delivered them another AFC Champions League crown. We couldn't quite have predicted this, and certainly when the group stage draw was made, the Reds would have fancied, really, being amongst the top two, the safe top two. Pohang Steelers, Wuhan Three Towns and Hanoi, the other teams in this group. The Reds could quite legitimately have expected to go on and win this group, but it hasn't happened that way. Pohang Steelers have won this section. The Korean side, 15 points, 5 matches played, 5 victories for the Koreans. They wind down against Wuhan Three Towns at the Wuhan Sports Centre in a match that kicks off simultaneously here. But basically, the Reds have to win and hope for, well, basically 3 other results to go their way next week. Ulsan Hyundai, Incheon United, Jeonbuk Motors and Melbourne City are currently above Urawa Reds in the mini league, if you will, the head-to-heads for the other runners-ups in the groups. Only the top 3 in that group of 5 go through. So even if the Reds win tonight, that will take them to 10 points. I mean, you're looking at Jeonbuk, Incheon and Ulsan Hyundai all on 9 still with a match to play, and Melbourne City on 8 points as well. Those other teams finish their campaigns next week, so there will be a week of hope if the Reds can get the victory tonight, but they, I'm sure, will be realistic. Maciej Skorca, the coach that was hired for the 2023 season, he steered them to that AFC title win in May. We know that he's departing at the end of the campaign. Some high-profile departures from the squad as well. They finish their long 2023 season tonight, the Reds. The teams are just about to come into the stadium here. A delightful stadium set up here in the Vietnamese capital, the My Dinh National Stadium. It was the venue for Hanoi's 2-1 win over Wuhan Three Towns in their last home match on the 8th of November. Pham Van Hai got a last-minute winner, bringing delight to the 10,000 or so crowd that night.
Ladies and gentlemen,
previously they were beaten by Pohang Steelers here on match night 1 back on the 20th of September. Big welcome for the local heroes. V-League winners in 2022. They were runners-up at the end of the 22-23 campaign. It's a complicated qualification procedure because of the change in the calendar for this Champions League group stage. They made it through, but I'm afraid the group stage has been their limit here. But still a delightful experience. And they will want to be back competing at the end of the next domestic V-League season. And maybe indeed they will return for the 24-25 AFC Champions League campaign. Well supported and a really well-run club as well. A team of the future, indeed, Hanoi. And it will be a big scalp here if they can end the dreams once and for all of Urawa Reds. Well, as is often the way on the final match night of the group stage, plenty of changes, multiple changes indeed for Hanoi, 6 in all. Van Huang in goal, Vu Tan Long, Tho Doi Man, Vu Din Hai at the back, and Nguyen Van Trong left midfield, and Tegui up front are the new names here. And some big performances expected from the likes of Dao, Van Nam, and indeed the goalkeeper Van Huang. He's one of 3 players who is starting his first match in the Asian Champions League tonight. Team of officials are from Tajikistan, led by Sadullo Gulmarodi, back on AFC Champions League duties for the first time since match day 3, when he was in charge of the Reds' J1 rivals Yokohama F. Marinos and their 3-0 win over the Filipino champions Kaya Iloilo. 3 changes for the Reds. So we see Ekanit Panya, the Thai superstar, brought into the attack alongside Alex Schulk, who is likely to play a little bit further forward alongside Brian Linson. And Holbratton, the Scandinavian defender, drops to the bench, replaced by Takuya Iwanami, who will line up alongside Alex Schultz at the back tonight for Urawa Reds. Well, probably the Reds' best player in this campaign, certainly saved them once or twice. Kante, wearing 11, he'll be used off the bench tonight if indeed they need to chase the goals in the second half. So big night for plenty of players. Sho Tegui, 6 caps for Cameroon, the 30-year-old, and Ken Iwao, a solid presence. Part of the team that won the Champions League title, played in both legs against Al Hilal at the culmination of last year's campaign, thus delivering the Reds their 3rd continental title after those victories previously in 2007 and 2017. It's 9 weeks since Hanoi swung by the Saitama Stadium and left with a flea in their ear. The Reds won that return fixture 6-0, the undoubted high point in a group that has produced more than its fair share of turbulence for the defending champions. So the Reds will look for a strong start here, and they'll be the desire to unsettle Hanoi on their own patch. It's very difficult to pinpoint at times, isn't it, what exactly goes wrong with a team that are in seemingly in pretty rude health. It was an awkward first test for them, the Reds, and they drew at Wuhan 3 towns. They had to rely on Kante with a goal 4 minutes into stoppages to prevent defeat in the opening match in the defence of their title. Then followed the 6-0 over Hanoi, and that's when it started to fall apart, really. The Steelers won at the Saitama Stadium on the 25th of October, and then completed the double, and they played the return match, the follow-up match at the Pohang Steelyard on the 8th of November. And then finally a bit of a glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel for the Reds when they beat Wuhan 3 towns 2-1 at home last week. And 4 defeats in 5 for Hanoi, but all that will be forgotten tonight if they can get a win over the Reds. An early pressure, it yields a free kick. Well, Brian Linton has a lot of physicality about him. Just made the most of that contact with Vuitton Long there, the 21-year-old. Rafael Llanas taking over the Reds at the end of the season, previously an assistant to Maciej Skorca, who's done his bit. Was hired basically to deliver them the title, and that's what he's done. The less said about the second half of the 2023 campaign, the better, as they slipped out of contention in J1, the Reds, and lost the J-League Cup final as well. It was going hand in hand with the slow deterioration of their Champions League form. But an early chance with the set piece by Yasui into the wall. It's picked up by Ken Iwao. There have been big changes to the team that beat Al Hilal over 2 legs in May. It might only be 7 months, but it seems like a whole lot longer when you look at the turnover in the squad. Looking at the back end of this Champions League group stage, they only have 3 starters in the team tonight that were part of the starting 11 in those matches against Al Hilal. Iwao, Kazumi, Nishikawa, the goalkeeper, and Keita Yasui, who came off the bench twice, likewise Ogiwara. But they've really missed Shinzo Kuroki and the experience of Hiroki Sakai, the right back and the captain, who was such a leader on the field all the way to that 2-legged final victory over the Saudi Giants. Despite a 2-0 win away at Consadole Sapporo on the last day of the J-League and the weekend just gone, they were edged out of 3rd place by Sanfrecce Hiroshima, missed out on 3rd by just a single point, and that's a qualifying berth for next season's AFC Champions League 2. Ogiwara gives chase well forward down the left-hand side. Ogiwara doing well and draws that challenge from Dodo Man. Captain there for Hanoi, just getting the foot in, forcing a corner here. Kenny Wow featured either off the bench or as a starter in every single J1 match of the season. Good delivery, missed by everyone. Oof, they're going to shout here for the penalty. Alex Schalk there really felt that he'd seen an opponent handle inside the area here. Everyone missed it. And the arms were up, weren't they? From Bhutan Long. But has that just grazed across the chest there of the defender? It's very much like there's dialogue here in the first 6 minutes between the referee and his VAR team. Aziz Asimov, by the way, leads the video assistant referee delegation, the Uzbekistani. Let's have another look. The ball flies across. And the immediate reaction of Dao Van Nam was to claim that he did nothing wrong. The ball did seem to strike, didn't it? And I'm not entirely sure we can argue that that's a natural position for the arm to be in either. Well, Dao Van Nam, yeah, was experiencing just a little bit of discomfort here. Handball rules seemingly being tweaked all the time by the International Football Association Board. The rule changed back in 2019, permitting contact with the top of the arm. Now then, yeah, we are going to go to the video screen here just to rewind and see exactly what happened. The sleeve rule, essentially, didn't we? Which gave players some leeway with using the shoulder. So the arm is high, the ball does strike it, and I think Dao Van Nam will be a little lucky here to survive. I mean, this goes into the territory of a player making his body unnaturally bigger, really, doesn't it? Players taking calculated risks with certain movements. Sadido Gulmarodi, the Tajiki referee, having a good, strong look at this. And the verdict is... That's it, leave us hanging. He's given it, hasn't he? Yep. Dao Van Nam, he would have known, actually, the way that that left arm was flung skywards, at any kind of contact, and he was in trouble. So, after a good stoppage of, what, 4 or 5 minutes or so, Hanoi are going to have to defend this penalty. Came from the Keniwao corner, which they couldn't defend. Schultz will step up here. The Great Dane, Alex Schultz. Oh, it's saved after all that. Well, scored 3 successive penalties. Alex Schultz in pretty good form from the spot. Not there though. What a moment, by the way, for Van Hoang on his first ever Champions League start to save the penalty. Such a delay there. Are we going to have another issue? Encroachment? Very tight, right on the line. Well, he scored against Avispa, Fukuoka, Wuhan, 3 towns last week, and then Sapporo at the weekend. From the spot, Alex Schultz not there. Corner not dealt with. And they're going to have to go again here. It was from the Hanoi corner, albeit from the opposite side, that they forced the spot kick, the Reds. Swing over the goalkeeper that time, and he almost destroyed his earlier good work. Linson couldn't quite pounce on it. So here's Ogiwara taking on 2 defenders. Deflection. Hanoi a bit out of their own half in the opening stages here. Big news as the Urawa Reds chase down the chance still to qualify as a best runner-up. Squandered a chance from the penalty spot. Heck of a moment for the keeper. Asian Champions League debut tonight for Van Hoang. Guess right, pulled off the save. Here they are still attacking the Reds. It's Linson, it's Brian Linson. It's a last-ditch challenge from Damien Letale, the French defender. Linson hasn't scored in 9 matches. He was denied at the last there by Letalic. Good challenge that. There's the corner, again causing problems. Linked in by Ekenit Panya. That time the tie. Kaito Yasui has taken one for the team by the looks of things there. Well, Schultz, he's the penalty king for them. 9 successful conversions from the spot in 2023 for Schultz. That's well played by Wudin Hai. Got a man down here, Damien Letalic, the French centre half. It did look like a graze of the studs down the shin there from Brian Linson. That's the Dutchman fouling the Frenchman here in Vietnam. Decent save. All about guessing right there. And just about in that zone that qualifies as nice height for the keeper. Disappointing for the man who's just coming to the end of his 3rd year with the Urawa Reds, the 31-year-old from Copenhagen, Alex Schultz. Not a good challenge. That's the best look we've had at that lunge from Brian Linson. Restart here with The Hanoi keeper, Nam Van Huang. They've not been over halfway yet. It's been slightly spooky, this, in the opening quarter of an hour from Hanoi. 100% Urawa Reds possession. We've had two reasonably lengthy stoppages as well to factor in. This is Takuya Iwanami. Schultz. Ogiwara. Ball in early. That was useful. And a little layoff for Schultz's shot. Phase two here. Ogiwara again. Just tries to feed it there into Alex Schultz. Tagu. He'll give chase. Signs are at the moment that loneliness might be a factor here for the Cameroon striker. Nishikawa. Looking there for Ogiwara. Hanoi at least spending a little bit of time in the opposition's half now. Schultz for Takuya Iwanami. Ayumu Ahata. An early ball, not of the quality that Linson needed. Hanoi in the early stages of their domestic season. It's been a period of success, really, for them over the last 2 or 3 years. Regular challenges in the AFC Cup, the second tier competition in terms of Asian club battles. Big breakthrough for them to make it into the Champions League group stages in 2023. Chance to cross finally. That's way over to Gui. Chance for Nguyen Hai Long here. Nicely brought down, and Nguyen Hai Long sends it over. And challenge the fullback just to get another bite at it. Beaten here at home in the league at the weekend, Hanoi, by Binh Dinh after the 2-0 reversal in Korea into Pohang Steelers last week. A little bit aimless from the Reds. They're coming forward there. And numerous attempts at trying to qualify for the group stage in the AFC Champions League Hanoi before they entered directly into the group phase through winning the 2022 title after they missed out in 2019, beaten in the playoff round by Shandong Luneng. 2016, Pohang Steelers knocked them out at that stage. FC Seoul the year before, 2015, 2014, Wangtong United pipped them at the last. Generally goes that if you're qualifying, if you're not a direct group stage entrant, there are 2 rounds to negotiate before you can enjoy a group stage campaign. And actually reached the AFC Cup final in 2019, did Hanoi. Beaten on away goals, finally by April the 25th, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea team. No foul. And the Reds playing through. Good challenge on Panya. Looked like he'd grab that vital bit of space on the inside right. Channel there. Going to be another Urawa Reds corner taken by Takuya Ogiwara. Fifth corner here for the Reds. Hanoi deal with it. Panya, Schalk. Iwanami trying to guide it back there to Alex Schalk. Tagu, no. So Kazumi with the throw here. These passes up and over, looking for the airspace really of Brian Linton, overhit by some of these Urawa Reds midfield players. Haven't quite found their range yet, some of the more creative types. Ekanit Panya looking to make an impression. Only minimal time in J1 this year for Panya, the former Muang Thong United striker from Thailand. Been at the Reds since October, actually made his debut in the 6-0 in the return match and scored 5 minutes from time in that fixture. Very clumsy challenge there on Yoshi Kazumi. Schultz. Ogiwara. Useful fullback Takuya Ogiwara, can play either side. Tagu on Schultz there. He's an interesting player to go. They brought him in from Maritimo in Portugal. Hat-trick the high Pong already this season, and that brace against Pohang Steelers. He's a striker that knows where the goal is. He's had very little service thus far. We're past the midway point in the first half here in Hanoi. The local team drawing 0-0 with Urawa Reds. Dao Toa. Rangy pass as well to Nguyen Hai Long. I'll bring the ball down. Iwanami is going to get the Reds going again. Kaito Yasui. Uzumi. Final ball too often has been misplaced from Urawa Reds. They're having all the possession. That time it was Ayumu Ohata. Tagu winning that header. Yasui. Just one little brief look up, and he tried that little Sam wedge up and over the top. Again, Hanoi equal to it. Wuden long. Wuden high. Given away again. And there's room in the middle of the park now for Ken Iwao to try and bring it on for the Reds. No. Dodoi Man. Quickly on there for one of the central midfielders, Brandon Wilson, the Aussie. But here's the Dutch striker, Linssen. Netherlands player in Alex Schulk. Here's Kenny Wow. Ohata. Iwanami. Iwao again. Iwanami. Schulk. Nice little ball around the corner as well, actually, to Ogiwara. Schalke again. And then Iwao gets a little bogged down. Tagur showing his strength, and he's dragged back there by Ken Iwao, who was acutely aware of the threat of a breakaway and the pace of Joel Tagur. Sufficiently worried about him to put challenges in of that nature on Joel Tagur. The player who moved from his homeland to Brazil to try and get a foot in somewhere. Played for Cruzeiro for a few years, back into the 2010s. And rattled around Santos and Botafogo before landing in Maritimo 2018. As the target for the cross, it fizzed over the first man. Tagu perhaps didn't realise the ball would come all the way through to him there. There, it was sort of half-hearted attempt to cut it out, really, wasn't it, from Takayuru Iwanami? Tagu was ending up heading that against Alex Schultz. Hanoi working the corners short. There's all sorts of room to get it in from Dao Van Am. Not a bad ball in at all either. Dodoi Man. Just want a little bit more at times. I think it's quite a frustrating player, Brian Linssen. He's got physicality about him. He can hold it up very well. Tagoe does well, draws that challenge from Kaito Yasui, who shut him down admirably in the end. Certainly a good signing for them, as they look again to win back the V1 title. To go joined at the end of September. They might try and get on the end of this cross as well. Iwanami with the contact. There's Iwao. Away by Panya, but to no one in particular. Picked up by Wudinhai. Away again. Making his first ever Champions League start today, as well as the goalkeeper and as well as Nguyen Van Trong, left-sided midfield player for Hanoi here. Schultz, Iwanami. Ogiwara. Ogiwara, nicely taken down. Panya, Iwao pulls the strings in the middle of the park for them. Ken Iwao. Wide for Ohata. Here's Kazumi playing that 1-2 with Schalke. It's Yoshio Kozumi again. Need to dig out the cross. No, they continue playing it short. Iwao, Linson, and finally it malfunctions. It was nice looking interplay to begin with there. Linson once again just gets it wrong. The attempted end product there. 63% then of the ball for Urawa Reds in this first half. Should be able to cover this attack as well. It's slung forward by Takuya Iwanami. Tagu. Schalke, that's better. Linson. He might get there first. No, not quite. There was just enough on that from Letale with a cover. Bit more direct that, and the passing was a bit crisper from the Reds. And then that's ambitious. And for just in the nick of the time, attempt to make the highlights reel of the AFC Champions League there, wasn't he? And Gwen Hai Long. Oh, they enjoyed it. But no score here. Past the half-hour mark in Hanoi. There were Reds who they beat the three towns last week. They beat Consadole Sapporo at the weekend, and threatening to end the campaign on a high note. Those two wins came on the back of 4 straight defeats. And even prior to that, a draw and another defeat, a 2-0 to Pohang Steelers. They'd actually gone 6 without a win before last week's AFC Champions League fixture. It was a run that incorporated a defeat in the J-League Cup final. Good save, the flag stayed down. Well, it had just been bubbling up a bit, hadn't it? And finally, they found the pass to breach the Hanoi back line, the Reds. There. Yeah, they pushed out, got it wrong. Schultz with the pass through for Yasui. Another good save that by Van Hoang. They can add that to the penalty save. Nicely taken down, Ogewara. Good cover. Iwara again, Linson falls backwards. Iwanami. Lovely little first touch, and then the ball through. And Panya dropping very short there. The tie. Yasui, the overlapping player. Shot on the spin from Keito Yasui. He certainly got hold of it. Good save though from Van Hoang. Nothing happening really down the Hanoi left at all in this first half. Urawa Reds continuing to dictate the tempo. Pass comes up and over for Kazumi. Here's Schultz. Clip over the top from Iwanami. Iwao. Kazumi. Two runners, and Kazumi very nearly dropped over the centre half there for Schalke. Thrust away by Wu Tenlong. Turn into a decent pass as well for Nguyen Hai Long. Dagoe. Hai Long. Just enough of the ball there for Iwao to poke it away. Right there by Dao Toa. This is the challenge really from open play for Hanoi. Do they have the guile to create the movement and blend it with the passing required? The answer in terms of that attack was no. So here's Iwanami. Schultz. Iwao. No foul. Oh, under hit it. Nothing doing. That's good footwork. And here's Kazumi. Kazumi away down the right. Crosses too high for Brian Linson. So after a really good bit of craft from Mayumu Ahata, just to light the fire there, or so it seemed, for Urawa Reds. Kazumi has badly overhit that. How much room? And pick out Linson. Wow, plays it quickly. Kazumi is behind Panya. Away again from Do Doi Man to no one in particular. So it's Urawa Reds pressure. The attack breaks down. Hanoi thrust it forward to no one special. The Reds have it back. Repeat. Yeah, Schultz has it again. Wow. Ahata fed it on. There goes Yasui breaking the lines. They recycle it again through Schultz. Ogiwara. Stopped there by Nguyen Hai Long. Came off the Japanese player last. Gwen stood up to him well. But I like him, Ogiwara. He's good against Kashiwa Reysol and match week 30 of J1. But that's not really where his strengths lie. Creative player either side or further forward. Iwao, Linson, Schultz, Iwanami, Ohata, Yasui. Schultz. Hanoi proving difficult to break down right now. Again, the Not quite there, just not quite accurate enough. Wilson, the Mozambique-born Australian, Brandon Wilson, wearing 4 in that midfield for Hanoi. Oh, that's a mistake. Schalk, it's picked up by Yasui. Keito Yasui going alone and pulling that shot just wide. He had Schalk up there with him, but Yasui going for goal himself there. Nothing since May in terms of the goal scoring stakes for Keito Yasui, and a 3-1 J1 win over Gamba Osaka for the Reds. Just pulling out a little. It was the wrong option because Alex Schalk was in an advanced position and was perhaps the better option. Pass too heavy from Tagoe. Reds' heritage is well known. They are part of the original 10, effectively the founder members of J1 when professionalism hit Japanese football 30 years ago this year. They've spent just the single season outside the top flight. That was in 2000, relegated in 1999, promoted after just 1 year in J2. Iwara put behind. The Reds have been crowned champions of Japan just the once. Contrast that to their 3 continental titles. They had a fantastic spell in the mid-2000s under the German Guido Buchwald, remember him? Hero of Italia 90, he was coach in Saitama. Dodoi Man winning the header there above Linson. Well, that's put behind. Poked away by Nguyen Van Trong. And been out-muscled on the far side here. He's put it out for the corner, Nguyen. It's Yasui scrambling in there. So here's another corner. Delivery into that near post, well defended. And then thrust away, anywhere will do. Tagoe. Hailong. That's good, the early pass was on there to Vu Ten Long, but Dao Toan was a little bit hesitant. They go left-hand side in the end. That's better. Lovely little flick for Dao Van Nam. Just can't keep it going. We're going to have 4 minutes added to this first half here. This will be for the stoppage, basically, that centred around the penalty decision and the referee and the time it took to check whether a handball had been committed, which of course it had. The foot in on Ayumu Ohata. Ogiwara. Wow. No. Getting back to their defensive stations effectively enough there, Hanoi. And for all their pressing and all their probing, Urawa Reds have failed to break down the Vietnamese side in open play. The closest they've come, of course, has been that penalty missed by Alex Schultz. Perhaps more accurate to say that Nam Van Hoang pulled off a very good save on his AFC Champions League debut. Schultz sends Linson chasing it. They work it back to Ogiwara. Comes back to Shisaku Nishikawa, ever-present goalkeeper for them in the J1 campaign this season, Nishikawa. Iwanami hooks that long diagonal. Ogiwara the target again. Takumi Ogiwara does really well, then Schalk on the turn. No. But again, it was sharp enough, it was accurate there from Schalk. It's on the end of the good build-up play again from Ogiwara. Alex Schalk, he had a good little run, scored in 3 consecutive matches. A couple in September, then was out of the team with the injury, returned on the 25th of November, penultimate match in the league, and scored against the Vispa Fukuoka in a 3-2 win, which finally, a 3-2 defeat rather, which finally put shut the door on a potential finish of 3rd. Tagu, Wilson, and Gwen Hai Long, Vu Din Hai. Here's Wilson. Wilson does well to make anything out of that. Siwanami got the ball away, only half away perhaps. Then Linson for Schalk. Schalk plays that early. Isui chasing. And over again. Nam with the header. It's Nguyen Hai Long. Taguay can't quite get there. It's the last activity of first half in which Hanoi have really struggled. The Reds with all the possession, all the intent, all the ball, and an obvious chance to take the lead as well with the early penalty. Schultz took it. Nam Van Hoang saved it and pulled off another good stop midway through the half as well to deny Keito Yasui. So the Reds, in their quest to win here in the Vietnamese capital, to retain any faint hope of qualifying for the knockout stages of this year's AFC Champions League, are being frustrated. So a combination of their own profligacy up front and some stoic defending from Hanoi means that it's goalless at the break here. Must do better, really, as far as Urawa Reds are concerned. The onus is on them to come forward and attack and try and get this win to close out the group and put the pressure on the remaining teams in the Eastern Zone next week. But half-time here, it's Hanoi 0, Urawa Reds 0.
talking about? Neon. It's an amazing region. Wait, what's the name?
I think the line is part of that meal thing. We were well, this meal. 이미리게 소리 있는 거. 아주 비하는 거. مساحة نفس مساحة بلجيكا. And that border of Saudi Arabia. Neon.
Welcome to the AFC Champions League.
see the second.
So you rejoin us then at the Midin National Stadium here in Hanoi. 0-0 is the score here between Hanoi and Urawa Red Diamonds. No shine on the Diamonds thus far here in Group J as this latest AFC Champions League season winds down. We're going to have a change here at the break, so the Reds are shaking things up somewhat. And we're going to have Atsuki Ito and Tomoaki Akubo coming in here. So this is just a little bit of a tweak to the way they're approaching the offensive side of their game here. Ito, attack-minded midfielder, and Akubo, who fulfills pretty much the same role actually. Akubo more naturally accustomed to a wide role, normally right-sided here. I mean, so much possession in that first half for the Reds, and they carved out all the chances. I mean, man for man, pound for pound, if you will. They are the team with greater technique and quality, you suspect, but what does that matter if you can't convert it into the numbers that matter on the score sheet? That's the case thus far. Remember, the Reds are fighting for their Champions League lives, the defending champions who have to win here and hope that others slip up next week. There's been a slip up here as Zague brings the ball forward, but he runs aground and defence to attack in a matter of seconds for the Reds, and the shot from Schalk is somewhat wayward. Alex Schalk has worked hard alongside Linson up there for Paweł Janas's team, previous assistant to Maciej Skorca, the Champions League winning coach, now getting his chance just to close out the season as the main man in charge. The gloss will be put on the Reds campaign with an appearance in Saudi at the Club World Cup next week. The reward, if they get past Leon, the CONCACAF Champions League winners in the first match there, will be Man City in the semi-finals. They'll know by then as well whether they'll be competing in the last 16, the second round of this year's AFC Champions League, but it really is a long shot. Chance at the start here of the second half. It was Ito with that swipe at the ball. But enough bodies back there for Hanoi just to soak it up. A suggestion that the pattern will be anything different to the first half. Ito with the first attempt, the first swing at it there. Atsuki Ito featured in all but one of the J1 fixtures this season for the Reds. Indeed, since breaking into the first team 2021, he's been a regular, it's safe to say. Now Hanoi, yeah, just with a turnover in possession there, there's a chance for Dao Toan just to look up and move forward with the ball at his feet, but again, the instinct is just to launch it long, even with no pressure on the man in possession. to Joel Taguay. It's fine if the passing's sharp, which it hasn't been really hitherto for Hanoi. So Doi Man tries to move it forward. No, he's intercepted by Ohata, and that's in towards Linson. Dealt with by Damian Letalik. Ogiwara back for Ito. Iwanami underhits it. That's better from Schalk. Really put his laces through that. Yeah. Applauds the pass here from Takuya Iwanami. Actually looked like he mishit it slightly. He grazed it a little bit. But Schalk really gave that the fire. A million miles away. An indication that they're willing to be more aggressive attack-wise here at the start of the second half for Red Diamonds, but that's Joel Taguay nipping in. Metallic for Doi Man. Taguay. Ten long. Try to prod it forward. Linson. Through Iwanami. It's a little bit heavy, asked a lot of Ogiwara, but still turned it into something like a forward pass there. And well played, improvising their way almost down to that corner flag here, the Reds. It's a quirk, really, of their extraordinarily outsized run of success in the Champions League. With the greatest respect to Urawa Reds, that only two other clubs have more Asian Champions League wins, Al Hilal and Pohang Steelers. The Steelers, the team that have got the better of the Reds in this year's group phase. The Reds Champions League wins came at the expense of Sepahan in the 2007 final. Sepahan we've seen go through as one of the best runners-ups in the Western Zone. And their other two wins, 2017 and 2022, they beat Al Hilal in each of those finals. The 2022 competition asterisk by that. The final that was played in May of this year. And in between, they played Al Hilal in the 2019 final as well, but were beaten by the Saudis that time. Their best run of success in the club's history. Mid-2000s, one and only J1 title secured in 2006. Runners-up 04, 05 and 07. They won the J-League Cup, they won the Emperor's Cup in 04 and 05. Guido Buchwald, the coach then. There was another German who took over for that first Champions League win against Sepahan 07 in Holger Osiek. Ogiwara back to do his defensive job there to stop Nguyen Van Trong. There's the corner, there's the header, there's the save, and in! And can you believe it? Hanoi steal a goal at the start of the second half. It's come from pretty much nowhere. The Reds couldn't deal with a corner. And they've been punished. Third corner of the match there for Hanoi. Good delivery, whipped across the front of that 6-yard box and forced over the line. Well, it's just gone from bad to worse for the Reds. Dao Van Nam, red card in his only previous Asian Champions League match against Wuhan, but he has the opening goal tonight. Good save to begin with, but Dao Van Nam throwing himself at the loose ball to make it 1-0. First contact from Letalik, who beat Schultz to the corner. Have to feel a bit there for Nishikawa, because that's a really splendid reflex save. But the ball kicks up for the centre-half, Dal Van Nam, to plunder the opening goal here and make Hanoi happy. Well, slight caveat to it, so often you just have to wait a little, don't you, before properly celebrating these days. Just check that everything is fair and above board there with the Dao Van Nam's goal. Not scored since the 2022 league season, July 2022 in V1, but he has a goal that stands tonight, and Urawa Reds stare down a barrel that looks increasingly deeper and darker now. And now Brandon Wilson coming forward for Hanoi and drilling that straight at Nishikawa. Well, it was going to be a set piece, wasn't it, or a mistake really on the evidence of the first 50 minutes or so tonight. The way Hanoi were going to get a breakthrough goal. That's exactly what happened, but it was a good corner whipped in by Dodo Man. So difficult to defend against, to repel. All played in at pace. Dagoe holds it up well, finds the pass as well, and Gwen high long here. All of a sudden, confidence about Hanoi coming forward. Ahata gets in the way of the cross. Winning everything in the middle of the park now, the home side. Oh, look at that. Lovely little spin from Nguyen Van Trong. And Dao Toan will give chase. That's a big challenge. Vudin Hai really threw himself into that. Heavy landing as well for Ogiwara. And can the Reds do it? 2 more changes. And they're going for Jose Kante No surprise there. Takehiro Sakine as well. Attacking midfielder will come on. Yeah, just have to. No choice now but to thrust everything forward and try and just barge through, claim goals, however they may present themselves. Strange that Kante was left on the bench from the start here. But anyway, he's going to have half an hour to make his mark. Ogiwara, good ball, header over the top from Linson. Two of them throwing themselves at it. Shout looking lively, Linson looking lively. The header though was too high, so unsurprisingly here it is Jose Kante all set to make his final Asian Champions League appearance, who comes in here, their J1 top scorer with 8 goals. He saved them against Wuhan 3 times. He scored against Hanoi in the first match. He scored against the Steelers. Comes in here alongside Sakine. What can Urawa Reds do with everyone thrust forward? Takehiro Sakine at 28. Attacking midfielder. Plays in normally the supporting 2 or 3 behind the central striker. Another who scored in the first match in the 6-0. Takehiro Sakine. Dearly love another here, from anyone indeed. Urawa Reds. Ogiwara switches it back to Ito. Schultz with the little option, but to steer it all the way back. Up for Kante. Ladek Tuan is responding in kind with his first changes. Any minute now. Kante. Tagway does well. Lovely little ball round the corner there for Nguyen Van Trong. A good challenge. Combination play, like of which was nowhere to be seen in the first half. With, of course, nothing to play for here, bar the pride. And has released Hanoi from the shackles here in the second half. Ito. Schultz. Ogiwara. Linson, he's under-hit that. So here we go, Pam, Tuan, Hai and Marcos. Dodo man there offers up the captain's armband to Joel Tagway. First 2 changes of the match here for the home side. So Marcos Antonio Marcao makes his 4th Asian Champions League appearance. First off the bench, actually started the 2 matches with the Steelers, and indeed the 0-6 reversal to the Reds. 32-year-old. And Bam, 25-year-old striker. A brace of goals, including a last-minute winner against Wuhan, 3 Towns on the 8th of November. Reds win the second ball. Schultz switches it there for Ito. Here's a Kubo. Kubo drawing that challenge from Pham Tuan Hai. Takuya Ogewara just to send it across. Okubo does well. All the little breaks now are in Hanoi's favour, or so it seems. It's back with Ito. Ogewara. 5 in the box here. Oh, it's just a little bit too high. Running almost over that. Takehiro Tsukine. Kante. Schultz. Ogewara. Another chance maybe to demonstrate his wing skills. Good ball across and in. Linson made the break. He found the finish. He's got the goal. The Reds are level. It's 1-1. It's Brian Linson. So, all of a sudden, the flame flickers of qualification again for Urawa Reds. It's Linson's first goal since September. Scored in the Wuhan 3 Towns draw. He's got the first here against Hanoi. Good run. He just kept on with it there, Linson. And Ogewara, it seemed inevitable that he would be involved in something goal-scoring wise for Urawa Reds. Really good pass there that eliminates the entire Hanoi defence, and Linson just prods that home. Even then, Van Hoang is a little bit unlucky, isn't it? He almost pulls off the save with his legs, but Linson has the ball in the net. Marcao, Taguay, Pham Tuan Hai, he's not far away. All of a sudden, the game's opened up. Substitute there for Hanoi, Pham Tuan Hai. Let's see what he's doing. First touch, just to pull it back, giving a little bit of a wriggle room onto his right foot here. And he just tries to bend it up and over. Not a million miles away either, is he? Second 20 minutes, so the last 20 minutes plus set up really nicely here. Kubo with that ball round the corner. Ito made the dash. You sense his future as a genuine candidate to replace Mathieu Scorza. Might hinge here on the way they finish this AFC Champions League campaign. Of course, it was Scorza in the first 5 matches who was in charge. But Reds on the back foot again here. There's Hanoi pour forwards. And again, Pham Tuan Hai gets high. Make that cross. Very, very lively since coming on, Pham here. Shouldn't necessarily be winning that, should he, above Takuya Ogiwara? Having got to the cross first, he couldn't quite steer it where he wanted it to go. Kante. Okubo. Switches it back, it's Ogiwara. He's dragged it. He's looked very lively. He's covered that touchline up and down the whole way through. Takuya Ogiwara. Almost breaks there for Okubo. In China, Wuhan, three towns are leading Pohang Steelers by 1-0. Kicked off at the same time as this match. As we know, Pohang Steelers have already won this group. They're winding down with what could potentially be their first defeat. Playing their way through again here, the Reds. It's Ogiwara. Just tries to scoop it up there for Takehiro Sekine, who'd made that forward burst. Hanoi defending. There's the corner, there's the header, great save, and thrust away by Marcos. Wonderful header. And this keeper is really distinguishing himself, Van Huang, on his first AFC Champions League start. It's Kante with a contact, that's a really good stop. Now then, why on earth they didn't start with Jose Kante? Only Urawa Reds will know. Okubo. Ito. That's too heavy. Intention was right, execution very, very wrong indeed. Two more changes is the intention here. That's Do Hong Dong. Thumping challenge right through the back there of Shoal Tagoe Uwara. Felt that from up here. All sorts wrong with the timing of that from Ogiwara, really. But from this point in, you have to say that the amount of variables that have to fall in the Reds' favour can almost call time here on their AFC Champions League campaign. They have to get a goal themselves, at least a goal here, to win this one and hope for all sorts of help from elsewhere. So Do Hong Dong now JP Showman as well. Trying to get Hanoi back in the mix as well. Yeah, he's able to trot back on. There's the cross. There's the clearance. Kiwara sent it through. Just the briefest hesitation there from Tomo Gubo. There was a nick on the way through as well there by the looks of things from Van Nam. So there'll be a corner ball now. Shinzo Kuroki, one of the veterans here, is going to come on. Tried everything else, it's not worked out, so Kuroki now for a Harter, goalkeeper, strong hands on that. It's going to be a farewell as well for Shinzo Kuroki at 37. The last quarter of an hour plus stoppages of his AFC Champions League campaign, the veteran. Some tired legs out there now. Iwanami. Sakine. Kubo. Booted away. I felt that the ball was going to just roll out of play there. It didn't quite happen. Like a hint of offside there as Hanoi come forward. Indeed, that flag had to be produced. But he's looked really lively since coming on. Van Tuan Hai, the substitute, clearly strayed there. So no opportunity to combine with Joel Togoe. Sakine. Yeah, that's going to be a free kick. Really wasn't the best challenge from Palm. And a set-piece opportunity presents itself here for Urawa Reds. That clock is ticking. At the moment, Ulsan Hyundai, Incheon United, Jeonbuk Motors, Melbourne City, they all have to lose next week. That's even provided the Reds can somehow win this game. Free kick, flick on, carries to the far post. It's just not breaking for the Reds. Anywhere will do really as regards that Hanoi clearance, but it's going to be a throw. then are we going to just rewind a little here and see what happened last time the ball was thrust into the Hanoi box here? The Reds attacking. Here, a couple of awkward bounces. They got the decision, didn't they, at the start of the match with the penalty? Not there. Once again, it's Schultz. The invention, the creativity, the need to just do something a little bit extra to get the goal for the Reds. All their attacking players on the bench have been brought on at one stage or another here in this second half. It's pretty relentless. Wide from Yasui. Schultz basically playing as an auxiliary midfielder now. Kante, it's shipped wide. It's a good chance which is saved. Van Hoang again. Well, he blocked from Kante, and now he's blocked from Ogiwara as they try to interplay, they try to just blend it and play through. And at this point, they cannot say that they haven't had the chances, the Reds. So Kubo has come to play on this right side. Ogiwara has gone over to the left. And actually the danger potentially is that holes will be left as they commit players forward. And Schultz gets back to cover. And we hit the 80-minute mark here. It's 1-1 here at the Midin National Stadium in Hanoi. Linson. Schultz. Kubo. Kubo, well, does the first bit correctly. Can't get the cross correct. It was nicely done. Is that a shame he couldn't finish, Ogiwara? So the last change now. Leivan Chuan comes in. Almost half the starters have been replaced in the course of this second half. Oof, there's the spin, there's the tumble. He's given a penalty. 8 minutes to go, and this could be the final nail in the Urawa Reds coffin. Ogiwara just missed the chance at the other end. Commits the foul. Well, Ogiwara yellow carded for this. Yeah, I mean, he can have few complaints. It's a very heavy and clumsy challenge here. I mean, does that warrant a shout for handball, actually, before the obvious foul is committed? Well, he's pretty sanguine about it. Takuya Ogiwara. Second penalty of the match. Actually had a penalty awarded in their favour this season. Hanoi. But the chance now to take the lead, to retake the lead. Surely in a state of bewilderment here, the Reds, at the way this Champions League campaign has gone for them, and indeed threatens to wind down finally in the final moments here in Hanoi. So many missed chances earlier in the campaign. Well, just as everyone's ready for the penalty to be taken, we go to VAR. I wonder if this is for the handball to begin with. Yeah, I mean, basically calls into question the foul itself, really. Or is it all about where is the contact to begin with? Now then, look at the feet. Oh, oh, who'd be an official? First contact when the ball lands in the upper airspace there of Palm. Is he outside the area? I mean, the ball hits his shoulder, whatever. It's right on the margins. Basically, whatever your own personal margins are when watching these fractional decisions. Where did the ball touch the body? Where was the player stationed exactly on the pitch when the ball comes into him? I might suggest we need it slowed down a bit. There. One leg is inside the area, one leg is outside the area. It seems to land on the top of the arm, kind of directly in line with the penalty area. Now he's given it, yeah. Decision upheld. It will be a penalty after all. And indeed now confirmation of the chance to wrap up what could be a win here for Hanoi against Urawa Reds. Palm to Hanoi, call as you like, 2-1, and that could be that as far as Urawa Reds' defence of their AFC Champions League title is concerned. Closing stages here in Hanoi, and Palm to Hanoi does what Alex Schultz patently failed to do at that end after 5 minutes in this match, and that's slot home comfortably from the penalty spot. Looked really good since coming on. That was the decision. That was the outcome. 2-1 here. A brace against Wuhan Three Towns. Consolation against the same opposition. He scored an own goal in the 6-0 reversal to the Reds, but now you can safely say he's got his own back tonight. Bam Tuan Hai, the Vietnamese international striker, has come off the back of the matches with the Philippines and Iraq in the second round of World Cup qualifying for Vietnam. Bam. Scoreless in those matches, but looking for another here, and he's in behind. It's Bam. There's two colleagues up with him. Pulls it behind both of them. It's Ito, sweeps up. Big long diagonal. Again, we're going to have a decent chunk of stoppage time, I would suggest here. for Urawa to do it, but it's 2 goals needed now. Sometimes all the positive energy just gets concentrated into a big campaign and a big win. I mean, they were clearly a team in transition as Schultz lays it through. Back for Kuroki, fires it over. Well, a hero of 2 of their previous Champions League victories, Shinzo Kuroki, can't keep them in the game for another. Veteran striker at 37, he's gone too high with that. Japan will pin their hopes on Kawasaki Frontale and Benfuric Kofu, and even the Marinos, who are outside the top 2 in their group behind Shandong Taishan and Incheon United, before they finish against Shandong next week. The outgoing champions of Japan, having been displaced by Vissel Kobe over the course of the last fortnight. But this is a big surprise, the Reds being knocked out, which is pretty much where they are, or at least on the verge, right on the precipice. Despite the 8 minutes, which are basically now down to 7. Added on at the end here. Hanoi still coming forward, looking to really turn the screw at the end. It's Pam. Oh, misses the 2 players square. The first was Pam Chuan Man, the second was Tagway, but Pam Tuan Hai has been something of a game changer for Hanoi in this second half. Really energetic, dynamic performance from the substitute. Couldn't get that pass right at the end. A challenge now to pick themselves up for that Club World Cup next week for the Reds. Looking for a new coach, looking for a replacement for Jose Kante for sure. I mean, Linson and Shout, they'll be out the door. Kuroki at 37, they can't expect another season from him at the top level. I mean, there's plenty of hope in this squad with the likes of Ogiwara. Iwa will be there next season. Yusui too. Kazumi at 28, he'll be part of the squad as well. But clearly some refreshment needed as this era of success comes to an end. Now Kante does well to set up Sakine, tries to tee it up, but it's almost like the Reds know the game is up now. Unable to do their bit tonight here and then take it down to the final match days with 4 other clubs next week. Needing the 2 goals here in the last 5 minutes of their AFC Champions League season. They do at least have a free kick here. Tagway, Pham Tuan Hai, Do Hong Dun, So we'll be in no rush to get it across. Cute play, just rolls that off the heels of Okubo. And rounding out with more attacking play here, Hanoi. There's the shot. Do Hung Dun sees his effort blocked there. Linson back helping out. It's looking like the Dutchman's goal is going to be to no avail here. Free kick even almost torments Kuroki by being awarded the other way. Damian Letalik unhappy with that challenge from Shinzo Kuroki. Much decorated player. Actually won 3 J1s, Kuroki, with the Antlers. 3 straight as well, 07, 08, 09. And then that second wind of success with the Reds, incorporating Emperor's Cup, J-League Cup wins, as well as the 2 AFC Champions Leagues, and he was always so part of the team that were beaten by Al Hilal in the 2019 final. The end of an era for many of these Urawa Reds legends here tonight in Hanoi. Schultz, Sakine, early cross, too high for Kuroki. Schultz there, really well done there by Marcao. And look at the room now as Hanoi look to really rub it in. Here's Pham Tuan Hai. Oh, it's over the top. That would have been the cherry on top for Pham Tuan Hai and Hanoi, just to wrap up a famous win. I mean, it probably won't matter anyway. He's just jinked his way inside and bent that inches over the top. But what a second half it's been from the striker. Bam. And a penalty that looks set finally to be the difference between these two teams. There's an issue for Shinzo Kuroki. Go all the way back up the other end here to see if Urawa Reds can do something. Test Van Hoang from the free kick right at the end. Do they have that last bit of fight, bit of hope here? The outgoing Asian champions, Dao Van Nam, scorer of the first goal tonight, gets yellow carded. Going to be one of the last kicks. Sometimes the 90th minute is Kante's time. 90+4, he scored against Wuhan 3 Towns. He scored in stoppages against Vissel Kobe a month ago in J1. A last-minute goal against Shonan Belmare back in June. Last minute to Kyoto Sanga back in May. He looks the favourite here. the Guinea striker. We've had an extra minute on top of the 9. It's Kante. Free kick is crashed there by the Hanoi players, and the frustrations of Linson are bubbling over. Plenty to say there to Joel Teguet. It's going to be take 2 here. It's just all a little bit sloppy at the end. Yeah, he knows the game is up, and it was up long before tonight. Chances missed earlier in the group. What's cost Urawa Reds. It's Kante. No, they did their job at the end. Hanoi. Kante with a follow-up. It's wide. Not quite the full-time whistle yet. It's bringing a famous win for Hanoi in this group. There's no doubting that is where it ranks, really, in terms of the historical performances in the top competition in Asia. But there we have it. The AFC Champions League crown slips from Urawa Reds and crashes to the floor. They are out just 7 months after defeating Al Hilal in a blaze of glory. Hanoi have a famous win tonight. They took their chances in the second half after so much profligacy from the Reds. Schultz, after just 5 minutes, with a penalty that was saved by Van Huang. And perhaps deep down, Urawa Reds knew the writing was on the wall from that point on. It was 0-0 at half-time. Having dominated the possession, the Reds were picking the ball out of the net when Dao Van Nam headed home the opener 8 minutes into the second half. The Dutch striker Linson scored an equaliser, but Van Dan Hai, one of a swathe of attack-minded substitutions from Hanoi in the second half, really gave them an extra dimension going forward. And when Hanoi won a penalty 3 minutes from time, it was Pham who converted it. Plenty of other chances at either end in this second half came and went. But Urawa Reds ultimately with a very, very desperate attempt to defend their AFC Champions League crown. Doesn't matter what the rest of the potential best runners-ups elsewhere in the Eastern Zone do next week. Urawa Reds finish on 7 points, and they will not be amongst the best second-place teams to go through and play the round of 16 in the new year. Hanoi have beaten the outgoing AFC champions tonight by 2 goals to 1. For the Reds, it's sayonara.